Children. So, as I had in the previous class, I had given you a PDF file of your first chapter, that was Ivan's story. So, I hope you have all read the story well, and I'm very happy with your response that you have also even find out some of the question answers by yourself. Uh, that's a good job. So now I'm going to start the explanation of this chapter, the first chapter, Ivan's story, and I would tell you in the very beginning that uh, don't skip any part of this video, because while I'll be explaining the story, in the meanwhile, while we going through the story, so in between we will also be discussing some of the questions which can be important as your extra questions. Okay, so uh, and moreover I'll also give you the questions, but in between there are some small parts where you need to give importance and where the questions will be asked, so that understanding yourself you can also answer that by according to your knowledge. Okay, so and yeah, one more thing, as I know that you don't have books right now, so I'll be going a bit slow, I'll be reading a bit slow so that you can understand the pronunciation and you can understand what the story is saying right now. So here we begin. So this Ivan story, it is taken from a, a collection which is The One and Only Ivan, and which is written by Catherine Applegate. The name of the writer is Catherine Applegate. Now, just just pay attention to the introductory part of the story, which says Ivan is a gorilla who lives in a cage at a mall. Now, Ivan is the name of a gorilla and it lives in a cage at a mall. Sounds something tricky? It is something something not going usual, right? Let's see, let's go forward. He has spent 27 years either living in a human home or at the mall. It's totally different, because the first thing we get to know, Ivan is a gorilla, and where are the animals supposed to live? Obviously in the jungle, not at a mall, right? But this gorilla has already spent his 27 years either living in a human home, in the homes of either a human or at a mall. Okay? The story told by Ivan is about how he has nearly forgotten his life in the wild. So, this way, while he has continuously he has past his 27 years of life, he has, after this 27 years of life, he has forgotten his life in the wild while he used to live in the forest. But do you think is that possible? Do you think living in the human home as an animal, because Ivan was an animal, he was a gorilla, he was an animal, so being an animal and living in the human home, is it really possible that a gorilla will have forgotten his identity as an animal, and he has totally forgotten his life which he used to pass in his in the forest? Is it possible? Let's see. The book was inspired by the true story of Ivan, who lived in a similar situation for 27 years. Okay, so this story is also inspired by one such story where in the story there was Ivan, that is someone else, and who lived in this kind of situation for 27 years. Now, in your chapter you can see, while you see your pages, you can see that the this part of the story is divided into various parts. Okay, various subparts. First is grunt, then is mud, then protector, then the perfect life, and so on. it goes. There are various other parts. So today we'll just complete the first three parts, okay, up to protector. In the next video you will get the rest of the parts. So let's start with the grunt. I was born in a place humans call Central Africa, in a dense rainforest so beautiful no crayons could ever do justice. So Ivan was bought in a place which we, the humans, have called it, or we have named it as Central Africa, and that is a dense rainforest. So what is a dense rainforest? It's a rainforest where the forest, it is all covered with thick areas. Okay, the jungles are quite thick, and there happens to be a lot of rain. And this place was such beautiful that even you try to paint it, okay, with crayons, the picture would not be justified. That means painting the picture you will not be able to bring the beauty as it is in reality. If you try to paint it, even then you will not be able to bring the beauty of the place. Gorillas do not name their newborns right away, the way humans do. Now, here we got one difference, rather we can say that here we get one information, and also we are getting one difference between us, the humans, and the gorillas. So what is the difference? That the gorillas, they don't name their babies, newborn babies, just after they are born, whereas we, the humans, we do it. We name our babies just after they are born, but whereas the gorillas, they don't do this. Why? Or what is their process? Let's see, what do they do. We get to know our babies first. They try to know how their babies are, how the characteristics, how the nature is. We wait to see hints of what might yet be. So they get to see, or they get to realize, they learn the nature of their babies, and then they name it. So now a very interesting part we can see, we'll get to see here. The next line says, when they saw how much she loved to chase me around the forest, my parents decided on my twin sister's name tag. So here we were talking about the gorilla, the baby gorilla, who was named Ivan, or this baby gorilla had a twin sister whose name was Tag. Now let's see how this sister is named Tag. So what was the activity of this sister? He said, this baby gorilla has said, when they saw how much she loved to chase around the forest. The baby, this twin sister, the sister of the baby gorilla, she loved to chase around the forest. She liked to run around the forest, and so seeing this activity of running, my parents decided on my twin sister's name Tag, and that's how the name of the sister was named Tag. Oh, how I love to play tag with my sister. Now here comes the question. Do you know what is the meaning of tag? It is not that tagging on social media, okay? It is not that. So here the word tag, if you it is also given in your word meaning, you see, that is, it's a game. It's a name of a game where one player chases the other. Okay, chase means runs after the other and tries to touch them. I think you might be calling this in Hindi as pakram pakri or something like that, luka chupi, something, just something like that. It may be some kind of that name. Okay, so he says, oh, how I love to play tag with my sister. She was nimble, but when I got too close, she would leap onto my unsuspecting father. Then I would join her and we would bounce on his belly until he gave us the grunt, a sound that meant enough. So now, let's talk more about the uh, nature of this twin sister, that is Tag. Now, what she used to do, she liked to run around, and that's why she was named Tag. Now, another thing what she did was she was nimble. That means she was very flexible. She could run here and there anyway, very smoothly, very easily. Okay, and when Ivan, or here the baby gorilla, was about to catch his sister, what she would do? She was so mischievous, you see. She would leap onto my unsuspecting father. What she would do? Tag would run or jump on their father's belly, or their fathers, on top of their father. Then I would join her and we would bounce on his belly until he gave us the grunt, a sound that meant enough. Now, for in the fear of like getting caught, that her brother will catch her in the game of tag, so what she did, she got onto her father, and then after that, this baby gorilla, he also joined his sister, and they would start bouncing on their father's belly. So naughty, right? Okay, so on his belly until he gave us the grunt. Now, obviously, the father is feeling the pressure on his belly, on his stomach, so he gave the sound of a small sound of getting disturbed or pressured, and that sound is called grunt. In your word meaning also you will get it, that it means a short low sound. Grunt means a short low sound, a sound that meant enough, and that sound was an indication for the two little kids to say that okay, enough, you are done, not anymore, please don't disturb me anymore. Okay, but that game, that never got old. That game never got old. They always used to keep playing the game. And another thing which is written here is, although my father might have disagreed, my father might have disagreed, but he actually didn't. They could have stopped the game, but they didn't, because it never used to get old for them. They always used to keep continuing the game. They always used to play the game. And look at his father. His father also used to enjoy the the innocence, the playfulness of their children, and he never disagreed for that. He always used to let them play it. So here is our first part completed. So now I'm giving you some of the questions. I'll also link it below. You can get it, but then also I am pronouncing it. So the first question I give you is here: where was Ivan born? Okay, number 1. Next question: mention one distinction or difference between human babies and the babies of gorilla. Okay, this is also for 1 mark. Next will be, how was Mud's sister named Tag? Sorry, how was the baby gorilla sister named Tag? Next, 4th number question, write the dual meaning of Tag. Now, in this case, you might ask that what is the meaning of dual? Dual means the two meaning. Okay, here the word tag has two meanings. First is, it's a game, it's a name of a game where one person chases the other and tries to touch them. And second meaning here is, the name of the sister is Tag. So this is the two meaning. Next, you will have, what made the father gorilla grunt? Okay, I missed out. Write the dual meaning of Tag. Here you will get 2 marks. And how was the third question which I gave you, the how was the baby gorilla sister named tag, here 1 mark. Okay, so all total you are getting 5 questions from this first part. The last question was, what made the father gorilla grunt? So the first part is over. Next we come to the next part, which is mud. Now what is this mud? Let's see. It did not take long for my parents to find my name. And who is this my here? Or when we had started our story, we had found that it was written in the first narrative. First narrative means the story is written in I. That means the person about whom the story is, that person is himself narrating it. And who is the narrator in the story? Mud himself, the gorilla himself. Okay, so it did not take long for my parents to find my name. All day long, every day I made pictures. I drew on rocks and bark and my poor mother's back. Now, as we got to know in the very first part that the gorillas, they name their babies by watching by examining their natures. So the first, the twin sister, the sister was named Tag because she used to run around. Okay, she used to run around the forest everywhere, and that's why she was named Tag. Now, how this baby gorilla, the brother, was named Mud, and why? So to find that, it is here. It did not take long for my parents to find my name. The parents did not have much difficulty in finding this gorilla's name also. What this baby did, he made pictures. Okay, he used to draw pictures. And where he used to draw? I drew on rocks. You know rocks, the huge stones, and bark, the part of the tree. And also, see, he didn't leave anyone. My poor mother's back. Seriously, these two kids, they are such naughty, right? My poor mother's back. He used to draw in his mother's back also. My God. Next, I used sap from the leaves. He not only used to draw on the rocks. He not only used the bark to draw. He also drew on his mother's back, and also he used the sap from the leaves. Now, do you know what is sap is? Sap is a liquidiform, white color liquid. It comes out from your the leaves. Okay, so he used the juice also from that. He used the juice from the leaves. He used the juice from the fruit, but mostly the most of the time he used to draw. What he used was mud. He used to draw with mud. Okay, he used mud for drawing pictures, and that is what they called me, Mud, and that is how he was named the word mud. To a human, mud might not sound like much. Yes, obviously we are a human, and according to us, I think mud won't mean that much. How can you name mud? Keechad? Yeah, Keechad, doesn't mean that lot. But then a line is written here, but to me it was everything. Why was it everything to Mud? Why do you think it was everything to Mud? Because it was his name, it was his identity. Whatever my name will be, it will be important to me. Whatever your name is going to be, it is going to be important for you. Why? Because you are going to be named, or you are going to be known by that name. That is going to be your identity, right? So obviously the name was very important to him. That is why the word mud was very important to him. So the second part is also done. Now from the second part, you will get two questions. The first one, how was the baby gorilla named Mud? It will be carrying 2 marks. And next one, when you will get your book, you just mark it in your book. The last line of the second part, that is the part, it is called Mud. Okay, the very last line, but to me it was everything. Now from here you will get couple of questions. The first question, who said this line? Who said this line, but to me it was everything? Who said? Mutt said. What does the speaker refer to as it? What does the speaker refer? What does he mean by it? It is what? His name. And the third question is, what does he want to say in this line? You will answer this. What does he say, or what does he want to say? What does he mean by this line when he says, but to me it means everything, or it was everything? What does he mean by this line? You have to answer this. And the last part we have come to is protector. Now, it's a very important part. At last we'll come to it. Now let's see. My family, which humans call a troop, TROOP. What does it mean? Troop? Troop is a group of something. Okay. So my family, which humans call a troop, their family, there is a group of gorillas. Okay, so that is why it was called troop. Was just like any other gorilla family. It was just like any other gorilla family. It was normally just like other families. But how many members were there? Here you will mark. The marking comes here. There were 10 of us. How many members were there in the gorilla family? There were 10 members. My father, the silverback. The father was called the silverback. My mother and 3 other adult females. First, there is the father. Next comes the mother and 3 other adult females. Next comes a young male. Okay, a young male called a blackback and 2 other young gorillas. So how many got in now? My father, mother, 3 adult females, 1, 2, 3, 5 members, then 1 young male called blackback, then 2 other young gorillas, 8 members gone. Tag and I were the babies of the group. Tag and I means Tag and Mud were the babies. They were the smallest ones of the group, so it makes 10 members. Clear, I guess? Now comes the very important part. Who is called the protector and why? And why is this paragraph named as the protector? Let's see. We fought from time to time, but my father knew how to control us with a simple scowl. See, there were the babies, there were many family members, there were the young ones, there were the babies. So they used to play amongst themselves. They obviously play all. They used to sometimes fight also. But the father knew how to tackle that, handle that problem or handle that situation. And he could control those members with just a simple scowl. Scowl means just a short moment of angry look. He just used to look at his babies and they would be quiet. They would be under control. And for the most part, we were happy to do what we were meant to do. And sometimes, it is said here, sometimes they used to fight, and at that point of time, they would be controlled by his father. Otherwise, the rest of the time, they used to keep on enjoying. They used to play. They used to enjoy. It used to run very smooth otherwise. To feed and search for food and nap and play. And what they did, they used to feed each other, they used to search for food, they used to take a nap, they used to sleep for some time, then again they used to play. The last paragraph is the very important part. See here. Listen this part very carefully. My father was a master at leading us to the ripest fruit for our morning feast. For their breakfast, for their morning breakfast, what the father would do, the father would help them to lead towards the place where they will get the ripest fruit for their breakfast and the finest branches for our night nests. See, this is the reason why I told you that this part, the protector part, is going to be very important. Who is now supposed to be called the protector of the family? The father. What he does, what we have seen till now, that he controls the babies, he leads, he arranges the morning breakfast for the children. He also what he does, he also manages the place where the babies are going to rest at night. Okay, now you see, he was everything a silverback is meant to be. Who is a silverback? In the previous line we got that the silverback is the father, the adult member, the protector, the leader of the family. So he was everything a silverback, or a leader is supposed to be, a protector is supposed to be, a guide. He was a guide, he was a teacher, he was a professor. Sorry, he was a protector, not professor, I'm sorry. He was a guide. For example, he used to guide those places through which the babies would reach and get their morning breakfast. He would also lead to the way where they would get their place for sleeping, their night nest. Then he was a teacher. How he was a teacher? He used to control them. Okay, then also he used to search for food, he would arrange everything, he would teach them, and also lastly he was a protector. He protected the family from everything. So who do you think is the protector of your family? You already got your answer? Yes? Okay, so from here, from this last part, I give you a last question. You have to give a brief description on how the father gorilla managed the family. I'm repeating this question once again. Listen very carefully. Give a brief description on how, according to Mudd, okay, I'm mentioning this. Give a brief description on how, according to Mudd, the father gorilla managed the family. It will be carrying 2 to 3 marks depending on your length. You can make the answers yourself. Try to make the answers yourself, okay, and try that you don't copy it from the book. Try to write it in your language. It will be good for you. I hope you have understood these 2 pages. If there is any problem, you can anytime you can link up to me. You can contact me about which part you have not understood, and I am available in the morning hours. You can contact me, and from 9 a.m. within 1 p.m. you can contact me. Whenever you have any problem, you can contact me. I hope this up to this part it is clear to you. Since this video is going to be very long, so I'll be stopping it here. You read up to this part now, as you don't have book right now with you. So I would suggest you that while you have watched this video, after this you open your book. Sorry, not open your book. You just open the PDF file that I have sent you. You go through it once. You just remember some of the parts where you cannot understand. You by the side, you just watch the video and you can clear your doubt. And still, if you have problem, you can ask me. And the last thing which I want to say, the next video, until the next video, the last 2 pages are left. Before that, you complete this question answers which I have given. Total, I think I have given you 7 questions. No, sorry, I have given you 8 questions. So from this 3 parts, you complete this 8 questions and you write it yourself. Okay, till then, stay safe and stay at home. Thank you.